Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cheerleaders, welcome to another episode of Tatami Talk. My name is Juan, Dispel reporter Anthony. This is a Judo podcast for Judo players by two Judo players. So, Anthony, how you doing? How's your knee? How's your glass in your bathroom? Did you cut? Did you say you got stabbed in the butt? What is
actually? It's funny you said that. So, for those who don't know or follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, you see the glass window, the glass shower door in my shower just randomly exploded like 6 in the morning. I was in the office and all of a sudden I just heard a bunch of, it sounded like someone was pouring down metal Lego bricks from the ceiling. And I thought something from the ceiling like went through and was collapsing. Like my part of my AC is in the attic and part of my tankless water heater is in the attic. So I thought that collapsed and fell down. And I waited for it. The sound lasted like 15 seconds. So I just sat here and just like, don't move, or maybe it's an earthquake, so don't move. And then I went in the shower and it was just like glasses everywhere. So I spent the whole day and a half cleaning that up. And then long story short, took a lot of time. And then because I had to bend over so much, it wasn't good for my back or my knee. And then my knee started locking up randomly again this last week. So I'm actually going to go get a second opinion in the next couple of weeks. I need to go to the hospital and get my MRI imaging records to get a second opinion. And then just before we recorded this podcast, I actually stepped on a shard of glass because I used the vacuum, but it doesn't pick up everything.
Well, you're telling me you got glass. You found glass on your toilet paper.
Oh, yeah, there was glass on my toilet paper, and I was like, oh, man, should I throw it out? It's like a fresh roll. And then when I picked it up to throw it out, it cut my finger. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to throw it out. And then just now I just stepped on one, and I can't even see it. Like, I had to get a tweezer to pick at it. And even when I picked it out, I couldn't see it, but I could hear it because when I closed the tweezers, it's like, you know, the glass scratching sound. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to have to deal with that the next couple of days, but I guess the vacuum cleaner doesn't pick up everything.
Are you gonna replace the glass or just take it all down? And
no, I bought a shower curtain and stuff temporarily, but I forgot to get the hooks. So later, after I record this podcast, I need to go out and get the hooks for it because we plan to renovate the house anyway in the next within the next 6 months. So I'm not going to spend that much money replacing the glass. And it sucks because I have a guest coming over to stay soon, and I'm going to have to explain to them why there's only one shower door and a shower curtain.
You don't got to explain shit to them. It's my house. I do what I want, all right?
Yeah, so that's how my week is going.
So in case anyone was asking, I had someone ask me about, like, I didn't advertise. So I had someone message me about, like, am I doing my August no-gi class? And it's like, yes, I'm doing the August no-gi class. It is going to be on the 17th at the same place, Japanese Culture Institute, same time, 12. I just didn't advertise it yet. It's because I usually start advertising on the 1st of the month. So I just started advertising like a day ago. So that's why you didn't see it. You might have like missed the post or something. But yes, I am still doing the no-gi class in August. That one's coming up on the 17th. So,
okay. Speaking of advertising, then as of now, we're going to host another coaching clinic, Hollywood Judo, since Philippe. It's going to host another USA Judo coaching clinic. So if you need your regional, state, national cert, I need it recertified actually because it's going to expire end of this year. So I actually should take it. Check out our Facebook and Instagram. I made the flyer yesterday. It's going to be on September 14th. Yeah, September 14th is a Sunday. I think it was 11 to 3 p.m. Don't quote me on this. 11 to 3 p.m. And I have a lot of windows open on my computer already because of the nature of this episode we're doing. And yeah, just come by. This is the first time we're advertising on the podcast because in the past I'm just like, oh, it's just going to be regional people coming, right? But then we had people as far as like Seattle and Vegas coming down. So last time. That's the little plug for the coaching clinic. And it's not that we don't really make money out. Philippe doesn't make money. Zildjian doesn't really make money out of it that much. It's mostly because we know how hard it is, how rare it is for people to host coaching clinics. And a lot of times they host it, but they don't tell people. Like, they only want to tell certain people. So
this is open to the public. Anyone?
Yeah, as long as long as you can pass the background check, so no BJJ people, just kidding.
Oh
As
God,
long as
give
you can
some heat
pass the
already.
yeah, as long as you can pass the background checks and
Mm,
have the minimum ranks and all that kind of stuff. And I think
mm,
you need to email Philippe to confirm this, but if some people I think in the past were saying they didn't, I'm supposed to get my brown belt at the end of the year, or I put in my paperwork for my brown belt, I think you could take this. Um, so ask Philippe, email him, ask him. I think you could take it preemptively if you're about to get it. But I don't think it's like I'm getting my brown belt in the next 2 years. Like it doesn't work like
Well,
that.
it's one of those
So
things where yes, you could take the clinic as a orange belt or blue belt, I guess, but you're not going to get it. You're
yes,
all you're
yeah,
going to get
yeah,
is just knowing how to coach and knowing the rules maybe a little bit better,
yeah,
But you're not going to
yeah,
get coaching certification.
yeah. Unless you pay a bribe to Philippe.
Oh God, keep making it sound bad. Like you sound great, then I go, I sneak this little thing in there.
All right, that's the plug for the coaching clinic.
All
Yeah,
right, so Anthony, how's the Patreon? We don't have a Patreon yet.
yeah,
We got OnlyFans though. Anthony put his
yeah.
feet on there. No, I'm joking. We don't got no OnlyFans either. No feet pics. These are martial art photos only. Okay. So how's the Substack going?
Yeah. I just want to. I told Juan before recording I wanted to talk about the Substack. It's gotten more popular recently because
Mm-hmm.
of some of the posts I've been making, and then also some people have been sharing my posts on Facebook. I realized that because I was looking through the stats. I'm like, wait, why did this one person click the link 75 times or something like that? And now it's like over 150 or something.
Uh,
Why did they click it so many times? Then I realized it's because every single person gets a personal link. That's how it
mm,
tracks.
yeah.
And they posted that link on like Reddit or Facebook or something. And so everyone's been clicking that link. So,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, so that's how it's going. But as I mentioned in the past, my intention of the Substack was not to charge people money, but I wanted people to make an effort, like at least like make an effort to read it, right? So I didn't want people to just click it and just like scan through it without reading. And if people are willing to type their email in, they're more likely to read the whole thing and not leave like troll ass comments. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like a Brita filter, if you can think of it that way. But the problem is Substack doesn't allow that. So a lot of people will realize that they have to click on the free trial, free paid subscription thing to um it doesn't ask you for a credit card, but it says paid basically when it's not really paid. And
Mm-hmm.
I have to go into the dashboard every single time because I get an email notification every time someone subscribes. And I had to go in the dashboard and manually give a forever free paid subscription to people, which is fine at first. I didn't expect it to get as popular, but
Mm-hmm.
it's starting getting to the point where I'm like, okay, I think a lot of people are still thinking it's paid when it's not. And also a lot of the it's just getting annoying having to do this every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at options and like we were joking about OnlyFans in one of the in the previous episodes, but OnlyFans actually has that
So we're gonna get an
functionality.
OnlyFans. What you're saying?
OnlyFans actually has that functionality, and
It's a Tommy Talk OnlyFans.
Patreon has that functionality too.
Mm-hmm.
But I have mixed feelings about Patreon.
But not
So
about OnlyFans.
no, there's that stigma, right? But it could be funny.
It'd be
But
hilarious. Wasn't there a BJJ dude that did a bunch of like didn't post a lot of stuff on OnlyFans for a while?
yeah, but that was instructionals, right? So
Yeah.
OnlyFans has the stigma of it just being like sex workers, right?
Yeah,
But it's actually originally not for that. It's for other like to
for
be a
fans.
like, it's kind of like Patreon, right?
Yeah.
But imagine like some 40-year-old parent of four with a loving wife. He's like,
Sees an
I want to learn
OnlyFans.
how to coach better, and then OnlyFans.com, and the wife walks in and is like, what are you looking at? It's like,
Exactly.
it's not what it looks like.
Is that what you think it looks like?
So,
Damn you, Anthony and Juan.
yeah, I'll make sure every post gets like a nude thumbnail from some porn site too. Yeah,
Not safe for work.
yeah. No, but so OnlyFans probably not gonna go with that. But there's when I was researching this, I was thinking of like another site called Beehive and
Mhm.
between Beehive and Substack. And I ultimately chose Substack because everyone knows what Substack is, like the branding thing, right? And then
Yeah.
I saw there was a free subscription functionality. Obviously, it was a bait and switch and didn't have that functionality. So Beehive was one I'm looking at, and Patreon was the other. So probably this is basically an announcement that the Substack will probably move to one of those two platforms. And I'll probably just make a post saying, hey, this has just moved to Beehive or moved to Patreon. Go look at it there. That way I don't have to deal with this. That way also people don't get misunderstood that you have to pay for this.
They're getting the bait and switch. It's like, oh, they said it was free. Then I come on this website, so they have to pay. But no, you don't have to pay. It's really free, but
yeah. So that way it has that functionality. And there's also been, the Ukemi series is behind that quote unquote paywall right now, but I've gotten enough interest in it that I might actually make it just public. So I have to think about it. So let me know if anyone here has an opinion on it. I'll be curious, because this is part of why I wanted the subscription, because I get like no feedback from most people, but the email subscription I actually get something, right? Like I know these people are reading it. So anyway, that's it regarding Substack. So
all right, cool.
Yep.
Something for the future for you guys to look at. I think if we do a Patreon, we'll probably maybe put it won't just be the coaching stuff. Maybe put more stuff on the Patreon, because I think
we can put video. Well, Substack also does videos. So
does it? Oh, I thought it was just papers and essays and stuff. Oh
no, they also does videos. So I have videos on there, and I need to see if a Patreon probably does videos too.
Yeah,
and spoiler alert, but I'm actually planning the news, because we talked about maybe we'll do an eco series, or I might do an eco series, but it's not going to be, because I'm planning it. It's not going to be what you think it is. I think some of the eco proponents out there are going to be really disappointed, but I think it's a very valuable thing. And I mean, that's kind of the whole theme of the podcast, is I don't want to just repeat shit that other people are saying, or show the same thing that other people are showing, right? So that's the unsafe series, right? That's you can find 10 billion other people showing you how to do a Serenage, but how many of them actually show it and explain it to you that way, right? So the eco series coming up, well, it's brainstorming coming up, will probably happen at end of the year or next year, because there's a lot of planning involved regarding that on my end, and also my schedule changed, like I said. But yeah, maybe Patreon, maybe Beehive will explore those options. So
maybe OnlyFans, maybe fantasy.
Why not both?
Why not both?
We'll have the video. We'll have the videos cut off below the knee, cut off below the knee,
so you can't see our feet.
And then in the OnlyFans version, you'll get to see the.
People might pay to see that. They might,
Or like we'll record two versions of the videos, one with rash guards and one without.
One without rash guards. This is gonna be the Roman Greco no-gi style.
You ever seen those cosplay? You've been to Little Tokyo, those cosplay stores where they sell like these plastic things that give cleavage for cosplaying like characters.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't know they sell them in Little Tokyo, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
they sell in Little Tokyo, so we can go there and wear those under.
We could do that Persian oil wrestling stuff. We dunk ourselves with oil all over.
All right, let's keep it PG-18.
Yeah, keep it classy. Come on, Tommy, keep it classy. All right, so Anthony, we had to go to our mailbag now. So someone sent us something.
Yeah, I meant to bring this up last two episodes, but because we recorded in such a rush that I kept forgetting. But our longtime listener, one of our OG listeners, Gerard from Northern Ireland, had some comments regarding the BJA new Don Rank episode we did. He's basically saying what the sentiment is there for his personal experience.
That's nice to know. Yeah.
And I know during that episode we couldn't remember what the name of the other big organization calls BJC, British Judo Commission.
Commission.
Let me look it up real quick. British Judo Council. It's such a British thing.
Fancy council.
Imagine we had like USJC, United States Judo
Council. We can make one. It may be out there. Get on it right
Uh,
now.
he says, you said the BJA downgrades only affect possibly, I don't know, I think it's a typo. It says Ross. I don't know. But we are part of the Northern Ireland Judo Federation, which is effectively a region of the BJA. There have been few different views. People who are high downgrades, quote, older people,
Mm-hmm.
think that is a good change as it is more technical. Right. I think you mean
Mm-hmm.
technical. I was probably using a phone to type this. Uh, I mean, we kind of talked about that, right? How we think the older people will be for it because it's
Yeah.
oh yeah, but then it's
Keep
like
these youngsters down. Keep them as first
yeah.
dons. They're lucky.
Others who have not reached their downgrade feel it's a bit over the top. I understand that they want to improve the amount of people doing kata, but needing a level 2 certificate is too much when level 1 needs a decent standard also. It is whispered that rather than try and get new members into BJA and attempting to milk the money out of their current membership. Yeah, so basically stop trying to milk money out of a decreasing membership base and
Mm-hmm.
just try and get new members. That sounds awfully familiar.
I don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Personally, I feel this could cause a buildup of perpetual first queue or first dons. I could see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With the BJC, they are also affiliated with the BJA. They did have a small falling out last year as the BJA felt the BJC needed to pay more for their affiliation. Again, sounds very familiar. So it's
I feel
not
like we've
unique to
gone
the
down this road
US.
before.
Yeah, yeah. So for our British listeners, that's basically a repeat of what the Three Judo Alliance thing in
What we had
America
happened in
happened.
the US the
Yeah,
past 2 years.
yeah. And then I responded to him. I was like, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Like, they should just spend money on growing the pie instead of milking the stone dry. Like
Yeah, yeah.
squeezing blood from a stone. Uh, And I told him, like, from what I understand, the UK is seeing similar decline in judo as in the US. And he's saying, yeah, there's a sharp decline, but if no one knows who you are or what you do, why will they seek you out? That's what it's
Mm-hmm.
saying. Yeah, we are the only judo club. This will sound tiny to Americans, but it's a big distance here in Ireland in a 42-mile radius. As someone who has visited Ireland, that is a big distance, I can tell. To put that into perspective, there are two separate Taekwondo dojang on opposite sides of the same street. So he's basically implying Taekwondo is really popular
Mm-hmm.
in his area, but not judo. By the way, please pass on my congratulations to Juan on his fourth dan. As someone who studies multiple styles, I know the effort it takes to stay dedicated. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
I greatly appreciate it. No, but it's funny because he talks about how like he's the only judo dojo in a wide area.
Yeah.
And there's like 2 Taekwondo places in there. And I totally get that, We're lucky we live in Southern California. Judo's pretty big.
That's why I moved to LA.
I know. Stop telling your wife's gonna hear that one day, okay? She's gonna get really mad. But like we live in a lucky area where Southern California, there's a lot of judo. Even maybe growing up in the Bay, there's a good there's more dojos now in the South Bay than when I was growing up like that, but there was a handful growing up. Where my sister lives in Texas, I wanted my niece and nephew to start doing judo, but in the town they live in,
Mhm.
there's one guy that supposedly teaches judo, but it's for adults and 12 and up. There's like 5 different BJJ places, a handful of karate and taekwondo places in this town that she lives in, but one judo guy. And the next other judo school that I could see that was near her was like almost like I think it was like 40 minutes away from her house, which to me isn't that bad of a drive, but I don't know how it is driving in Texas, how far 40 minute is compared to 40 minutes in LA. Like you drive 40 minutes, no problem.
Yeah. I also want yeah, I totally agree with you. And
Yeah.
it's because it's just we hear this all the time how let me write this down because this is going to be on an episode.
Okay.
Because in English speaking countries there is a decline in judo,
Mhm.
right? Overall. So it's just a shame that that's happening. And a lot of it has to do with the advertising and
Mhm.
it's like, why are they not spending more time and money on pushing judo, right, as a youth sport? So you see other sports doing it, like baseball with the little league and all that stuff, and volleyball with how volleyball has grown in popularity. Like, and the judo organizations are just each saying, "Well, it's not my responsibility." Right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
more
USA Judo is basically saying this is USJF and USJA's grassroots thing, right?
Well,
And the
it's
USJA
also
and USJF is just like, oh, I'm leaving it up to the dojos to do it.
yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It more
Yeah.
feels like it's like, well, it's up to you to advertise for your own dojo, your own local area, you know?
Yeah. We're
And
just
I
here to
get it.
verify rank. Yeah. So they're not doing anything to grow judo. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
And they're just saying we need to run more tournaments. We need to like get better rank, whatever, like rank validation thing. None of that grows the pie. It's just providing better service. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's providing better services to your existing members.
Mhm.
But
And it's crazy, like, you know, other like with the thing with the British Federation is them like making that you have to have higher
kata,
certificates or more kata stuff to pass the test. And like
yeah,
that makes it really tough for some people. Like kata is really hard for some. Like we're training a guy right now to try to get his first dan, and it's really hard for him. And he's trying really hard to get it, but it's tough.
especially I'm not saying that this is the case for the person we're talking about, but especially for certain people that are older, injured, or went the competitive route and racked up a bunch of injuries. Having them do
Hmm.
kata is like really hard.
Oh
Like
yeah,
the guy we're working with right now came and sit in Seiza.
yeah.
So I mean I can barely sit in Seiza right now. So um that's just one example. Obviously we can modify it, but the point is like he's paid his dues in other ways, right?
Hmm.
Some
He's
of these
thrown
people
other
paid,
black
yeah.
belts. We've had visiting black belts come. He did it. He's gone to
Yeah.
in-house tournaments and stuff, and thrown like tossed other black belts. And
Yeah. On the other hand, like to be the devil's advocate,
hmm.
I think
Devil.
it's a good thing that they're raising the requirements on the kata because you
Hmm.
constantly see these like high ranking, I'm not going to say who, but you see a lot of these higher ranking people, especially on Instagram, you see them say shit that's like completely wrong.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it's
like I.
like, have you picked up the Kodokan textbook or even the Daigo's Kodokan techniques
Mhm.
book? Like it's clearly wrong what you're saying. Like
There was one,
so
and
having
this might go
yeah
with Judo Myths, but there's one guy out there that got a lot of views, and he was showing his Yoko Tomonage video,
mhm.
and I was like, he's just doing Tomonage diagonally and calling it
Yeah,
Yoko Tomonage.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, that is not Yoko Tomonage. Like,
So I I I criticize the Kodokan classifications pretty often in my classes because there are gaps in it in the classification. I think it's severely out of date, but I think it does really, for most part, it does a really good job compared to other martial arts. And
mhm.
um, people like having a basic requirement for people to actually understand this makes a lot more sense because it prevents people from getting to the higher ranks from teaching the crap we see now on the internet.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, and I personally I don't want to say suffer, but I experienced this where I visited someplace and they showed me something. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. But then I
Mhm.
do it anyway because like, oh, they're an eighth dan. Like, how? Who am I to question them? And then like I go to Philippe or some other place and they're like, no, it's actually done like this. And I talked about my story with Tayatoshi,
Mhm.
like how overnight it just became my best technique because I was taught wrong basically initially. Um, so yeah, like that's part of why I think is a good idea. But at the same time, if these, as Gerard said, if these upper rank older people are for it, then I feel like they should probably get their ranks deflated, like adjusted for inflation. We talked about this in that podcast, and then
Mhm.
maybe not that, but recertified under the new standards.
Oh, whoa, whoa, man! Hey, you're talking crazy now, Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, if you know your stuff, you should be able to. You should be able to pass everything up. If you're eighth dan, you should be able to pass first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, all the way up to eighth, and
Mhm.
no problem. And not and some of these people wrote these standards, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it should be no
I
problem
didn't
for
write them for
them.
me to do. I wrote them for you to do. Okay. All right. So yeah. So thank you for since the mailbag thing. You know, we appreciate your
Hmm.
input. Thank you for like saying about my fourth dawn and stuff. I really appreciate it. But yeah, we like this input from our fans to let us know like how things are happening in other countries and how things are done because we usually give our opinions of what we think or what we might assume is happening, but we're just dumb Americans. You know, all we know is the American system. You know, with our three federations that we have out here and all stuff we have to deal with. So thank you, appreciate it. So Anthony, main topic of the episode. Judo myths or myths about
Yep.
judo. I know my stuff is gonna start off doing judo and gonna just turn to straight martial art myths after a while.
Yeah, so we talked about how to do this format because we talked about doing this for a long time, right?
Mm,
And we decided ultimately that we're gonna each come up with a list and go through it.
hmm.
And originally, I think, oh, we should just do one and back and forth, right? Which is how we did it in another format.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to have more stuff, and there's a higher chance that your stuff is going to overlap with mine.
Uh,
So let's start with yours. Let's just
with
start with
myself.
your list, and then we'll go. I'll cross out whatever is already on my list, and then we'll go over it.
I know because a lot of my stuff is in a turn to like there's just like there's certain things about judo that there's myths about what we do in judo and how we do certain techniques, but there's then certain myths about just martial arts in general. There's some funny ones that I always think of, and it got me thinking about it when I would go to lunch with one of my old karate senseis, and we are talking about martial arts stuff, and but it's just okay. So first one about I think what's the first one about judo because it's gonna go straight into techniques for me. Okay, a judo myth to me is that when you and I always call like judo illusions throws, certain throws that we do to people. Ippon Seonagi is not directly over the head. Ippon Seonagi may look like it's directly over the head, but it's actually a 45, almost like a golf swing kind of throw, or a baseball, like you got a baseball bat and you're swinging it throw.
I half agree. I half agree.
Okay.
Because
Because
if you look at Nagano Kata's Ippon Senage, it is over the head.
no, it's over it's over the shoulder, I would
Well,
say.
it's over shoulder.
But yeah,
He goes like down like that,
yeah.
right?
But the way we do it in competition, the way we do it in
Yeah,
practice,
I agree.
it's always a turning throw, you know?
It's better. It's for competition. It's better to do it uh diagonally, basically, for
Uh-huh.
Ippon Senage.
Yeah.
But I don't think like there's just a generic statement saying over the head is wrong. I like I already said it. And in Kata, in Nagano Kata, it's not like
Yeah,
that.
but no
So,
one does the throws like kata style unless you're goofing around.
well, the people do that, and then that's why they don't score. Like, well, I mean, just go watch the unsafe series drops in. Like
Mm.
it pretty much explains why that doesn't work as well. So
Yeah, so that's one of my biggest ones. Like, there's certain throws I call illusion throws. That's the biggest one. I can't remember. Like, I should have wrote them all down. I'm so stupid because I didn't
oh,
write
I
them all.
told you to write it. I
I know
gave
you
you
told me
a
to write them
week
all
and a
down,
half to write it
but I have it
down.
in my head already. I'm gonna come back to it later and stuff. All
All
right,
right.
so let's just go back to just saying of just the whole thing of judo itself. Okay,
Yeah.
people always come to judo and they're like, "I heard judo's just like BJJ but cheaper. You guys do more stand up, and we are not." Okay. We are similar with our Newaza techniques. They do more intricate Newaza techniques, but we do a lot more stand up. And the funniest thing when people come and they think that like we're just like BJJ is that when they get thrown for the first time or they see how much Tachiwaza we do, all our stand up techniques, they get very, very surprised.
So what you're saying, just to clarify, so I understand this, you're
Mhm.
basically saying the myth is that BJJ and judo are just very similar, but just the percentage of the percentage of stand up versus groundwork is different. That's what you're saying.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we get tons of people and it's like, yeah, I heard you guys are just like BJJ, but you guys are a lot cheaper and stuff. And I don't want to pay two something a month for my classes anymore. So like that. So we get a lot of that sometimes. That's a big judo myth that they do come from us, but the amount of tachiwas and newas we do, it is not the same. And the amount of impact we do to each other, throwing each
Yeah.
other is totally different. Okay.
Okay.
Another funny myth about judo, not a myth, it's more like just it's false advertising, I think,
Mhm.
is when people call us the gentle way. There ain't
No,
nothing
that's on my list.
is it? Because there ain't
Yeah.
nothing gentle about what we do to each other. All right.
Yeah.
Slamming each other, throwing each other on the ground, katagarumas, uranages, big taitoshis, uchimatas. They are not gentle. I do not know where Kano figured out this gentle way BS. We are not Aikido. Aikido is more gentle way than we are.
Yeah. I think there's a. I think that this is the thing I don't like about. I don't want to say I don't like about, but I think there's a shortcoming of English translations of
Mm-hmm.
Chinese of any Asian language, basically. And this extends to like literary works like Journey to the West and
Mm-hmm.
Romance of the Three Kingdoms, like all these other literary works. There's just no good one-to-one translation. And that's my same complaint about Murakami's works. For those who read like Murakami, um, some words just don't translate well into English. Um, there's just no word for it. Like if you think about it, umami, right? The flavor.
Yeah.
For a long time, people just called that salty flavor,
Really?
right? Yeah, yeah.
I've never
There's
heard that one, but I could
yeah,
see it. I could totally see
a
people
really
doing
yeah
that. Yeah.
a lot something that at least from Chinese. I don't know about Japanese, but Chinese, there's a lot of words that describe flavor, texture, feelings that you can't describe in English really well. Like
Mm.
even when it comes to pain, um, there's like a billion different ways to describe the kind of pain you have, but in English, it's like, oh, it's sore, it's sharp, it's dull, it's numbing. Like to me, I'm just like, that doesn't really feel like it doesn't elicit the you can't really understand what the pain, like what is a numb pain. If it's numbing, then it's not painful. If it's a sharp
I know.
pain,
I had some
yeah,
spice when I was in Chichibu at this restaurant, and it was making my mouth. It was like really good tasting, but it
yeah.
was like making my mouth numb. All right.
So that's you're talking about a taste thing, right? I'm talking about
Yeah.
like injuries. So
Uh,
I've always had no problems describing my pains when I lived abroad
mm,
to the doctor or vice versa. But once I like came here, I'm just like, oh man, like I guess it's a numbing pain. This pain I'm feeling, it just feels weird, kind of thing. If
mm.
so I think judo, the Jew and judo, it's the same way because it. I think yielding is the better translation, the yielding way, but that doesn't sound cool, right? The
Yeah.
yielding way. Um, so the gentle way is definitely that. It's basically not telling you to not use strength. It's just saying don't fight strength to strength hard on. And sometimes you have to yield to get better results and path of least resistance. That's the best translation I can do.
Well,
But
I get it
yeah.
when it's like when you say like the gentle ways, like certain throws, like I've told
Hmm.
it to some of my students sometimes, some throws when done properly with even with resistance, it's like cutting through butter. It goes so
Yeah.
smooth and like, yeah, that's the gentle way right there. But it ain't gentle way most of the time. Most of the time there's
Yeah.
gonna be some fight, there's gonna be some resistance, and you're gonna have to force it, force your throw sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of it also has to do because all there's a saying all martial arts came from Shaolin, right?
Yeah.
Like from China basically. And then in reality, all the Chinese martial arts came from India. But
I don't know, they came from the Greeks when they showed them all pancration, I think.
maybe. But yeah, so in Chinese martial arts, it's usually, I mean, there's separate different ways to separate it. There's northern style and southern style, but
Hmm.
also there's internal and external styles. So that would be like an external style would be something like karate, like Kyokushin karate. That's really
Hmm.
hard and it's just like strengthening your body to take it. And then internal would be something like Tai Chi or Wing Chun, where it's considered softer. Um, but there's nothing soft about Wing Chun. Like, there's really nothing soft about Wing Chun. Tai Chi has a bad rep because of what the Western audience is exposed to. It's a certain style of Tai Chi that's catered towards older people for health benefits. But
Hmm.
there are harder styles of Tai Chi, and but Wing Chun, there's nothing gentle about Wing Chun. So it's just you're
You're not
using,
gently hitting the wooden man. That's not gentle.
yeah, it's just they're more focused on structure and, well, that's not a good way to put about it. They're more focused on hitting the right points and using geometric structures to disperse energy, kind of thing. So it's not so much as like just blocking things straight on. I don't know. I can't. I'm probably not qualified to talk about it, but anyway. But I think that's where the misconception comes from about gentle. It's just a not a bad translation, but like no good one-to-one translation of these things. So
Mhm. Now, going back to other misconceptions about judo, and kind of go back to the BJJ thing again,
hmm
that judo has no newaza. That judo, either people think that judo has no newaza, that we have no ground game, or
hmm
our ground game is super, super limited. And it's funny because you have people like, I might get some heat for this. There was a thing where Joe Rogan was talking about like, oh, they didn't do this, they didn't do sankakus, they didn't do
yeah.
and it's like, yeah, we did. That all came from judo. We have newaza. It's just our judo's just more judo's newaza is very direct to the point. We're not
So
spending 5 minutes on the ground
yeah.
trying to do a fancy lock.
Well, I will say it's a fair assessment because most places, just like leg grabs, we talked about how leg grabs were, a lot of people are now growing up black belts that have never done leg grabs before.
Yeah.
because of the sports side of it. And that's the same with Newaza. Like a lot of people are not gonna do. They're gonna train like guard triangle, but they're not going to have ever done it in a live setting. Um, at the same time, that's also done in Newaza Randori and stuff. So don't want to go into it, but I think it's a half truth. Like, yeah, it's just an oversimplified statement is what I think
Yes.
that
They would
myth
be.
is.
It would definitely be that.
It's
Yeah.
just a very different Newaza, and it depends on how you train. It's not that judo doesn't have Newaza; it's just evolved into something different now. Um, which I think a lot of people. I'll just say what I'm going to one thing on my list now since it's relevant. But one of the claims is BJJ is basically just judo, right?
Mhm.
On one hand, yes, but on the other hand, no, because it's so different as a sport now that it's gone off in different paths. And you
Yeah.
see a lot of older people say this because when they were exposed to BJJ back then in the 60s, 70s, you look back at the black and white footage, like when Hilo Gracie them fight through BJJ, it does look like just ground judo. It literally
Yeah.
just looked like that. But now the sport has evolved so far that it completely looks different now. Same thing with judo. Like there's a lot of stuff we used to do back then that we don't do now, and vice versa. We do now and we don't do back then. Um, so yeah, I think it's just times have changed, so it's not fair to call it the same thing. But at the same time, the core of it, I think it is the same thing. But in the end, they're all just grappling, right? You can say that too.
Oh,
So there's a lot of nuances.
yeah. That's one thing I always say when I go to catch and stuff. It's like grappling's grappling. It's just a different. It's just a different rule set.
Yeah.
Whether I'm doing catch, folk style, freestyle, judo, BJJ, open, it's just the uniform I'm wearing and the move set. The
Yep.
rules. That's the only thing
Yep.
different. Grappling's grappling. There's only
Yep.
so many ways the body can move.
Yep. Okay.
So now I'm gonna start getting into like ones those are most of my more judo specific ones, and these are ones that are more like martial arts itself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Once I reach my black belt, I'm done. Well, I'm a black belt. I'm a master. I
What
know
do you mean?
everything.
I've been done.
Yeah, I got my black belt. I don't have to train no more. I'm a master. There's no higher ranks. That's it, right? No, there's so much more to go with it. There's so much more to learn and continue your progress and just get better at what you're already good at. And I think it's more thing of like how Americans, this more maybe just for a Western thing, we put so much value into the black belt. And I get it. Like I really do value the black belt.
Mm-hmm.
Where compared to in Asia, like you always bring it up like black belts like a beginner rank. You
Yeah.
start judo 2-3 years, maybe less, maybe a little bit more, you'll get your black belt. But you're expected to continue to get higher ranks or continue just to get better. Where in America, and this is like really big with BJJ, like they brought it back again. It's just like it takes so long. Like in theory, I guess, it takes so long to get your black belt. People are like, oh, I
Yeah.
trained for 5 years. I got my black belt, trained for 6, 7, whatever. Got my black belt. I guess I'm done now. I mastered that.
Yeah.
This is something I used to see a lot back when I used to teach karate, is that a lot of these kids would get their junior black belts at like 16, 17, and then they would just drop out of, they would come for like a little bit longer, but they'd just fall out. Be like, oh, I got my black belt. I know what I'm doing. I'm done.
Yeah, we talked about this in a previous episode regarding
Yeah.
the ranks, and it's basically why I'm against. I'm for basically deflating the Western ranks to match the Japanese system. And it's funny because when we talked about the BJA episode, BJA rank changes, they're like, oh, we're going more in line with the IJF. It's like, why don't you go more in line with the Japanese who invented the system? Like, it will make more sense. People will stop belt rank chasing as much. Not that it will stop, but it will, at least people will give less emphasis on it, and people will just start judging people based off of their performance more than what color is around their waist. So I think I'm totally for that. And in order for that to happen, like I said, you either got to get recertified or readjust the deflation of the rank system. So
Mhm.
that will never happen. But
Yeah. Of course,
yeah.
that can happen because it's just, and this is a sad truth about it. It's like, if we're lucky, we train out of a community center, like we run on a very modest budget. A lot
Mhm.
of people that do this as their living, this is their job, you got to make a living on it. And sad to say, like testing, charging for belts, making people wait longer and adding more belt ranks, like that's a McDojo thing.
Mhm.
But that's how they make their money. Like it's sad. Like I hate seeing like I've people. There was one time I've had a few people actually do this where I've told them like, yeah, I'm gonna test you next week for your yellow belt. It's like, oh, well, how much is that gonna cost?
Yeah.
It's free. Well, how much is the belt gonna
I just
cost?
had this,
We
yes,
give
literally
you.
yesterday I had this discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, I give you a belt. And this funny thing is like to me, like your citrus colors belt all the way up to all the way to blue belts, like just take the free belt. Like I got guys, like I saw a guy the other day at the dojo. We just gave him a belt, and then he came next week with like this $35. Like I saw that belt online.
Yeah.
You bought a $35 colored belt. Why? Spend your
I don't
money
know.
on your brown belt or your black belt.
I like nicer belts because it doesn't feel cheap when I tie it.
It doesn't matter. You're not gonna have them that long anyways. It shouldn't matter.
I mean,
That's
I
me.
guess for me, my old instructor that gave me my my old instructor, and also I had my green belt for a while too. I had
Mhm.
it for like a couple of years or a year. So yeah, like I don't know. I like it. Also, it gets less. What you know, the cheap belts we give when it's sweaty, when it's
Yeah.
wet, it's just like turns into like paper. Like I understand personally is what I'm saying, but
Uh,
yeah, like that mentality you're talking about is probably the problem. I think because people feel like that they're owed a rank, not
mhm.
that they earned it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It it's like I'm paying for it. If I'm not up to this rank, it's kind of your problem. Like, or like,
Mhm.
hey, I met all these requirements that you put down there. Like, some of these requirements are I can't be measured, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, but
All
that's
right. So
different
going back
discussion.
with
Yeah.
the now going back to the people that get their black belts saying they're done is a thing where people think that every black belt has all the answers.
Hmm.
And that's like a myth of like,
That's
oh
not
well,
judo myth. That's a
I'm saying
everything
like
myth.
now I'm going to this martial art myths now because this is one thing like
Yeah.
to me they kind of there's certain things that like judo myths or certain things that are just martial art myths period.
Yeah.
And the next two for me are like the two biggest ones. The second one's kind of funnier, but this one to me is like just because someone has a black belt does not mean they have all the answers for the
Yeah.
martial arts. Hell, I'll tell people I don't know something or that's a good question if I don't understand or give them like this is
Yeah.
what my thought is on it and stuff. But people that's like, oh well, he's a black belt, he's of a certain age, he looks a certain way. What he says is everything. It goes like when we talk about like something I go about the dogma of judo. Well, this black
Yeah.
belt says that, so I have to believe it. That must be right. When you go, like you said, you go to a dojo sometimes, they'll teach the wrong move, but because they're a fifth dan or a coral belt, you're like, oh
Yeah.
well, they have to be right.
I don't want
That's
to turn it back into a BJA episode, but this is why I think it was like I don't think it was BJA. It was that video someone posted, but like
mm-hmm,
making the requirement for someone to know all 100 techniques
mm-hmm,
of judo is ridiculous because I don't think people truly understand those. It's impossible for you to truly understand those techniques with only X amount of time. And I would much rather someone who's teaching me judo and a competitive club with a third dan would be really knowledgeable in the major throws that happen in real life, right? Like
mm-hmm.
really understand Goshi, really understand Seoi Nage, really understand foot sweeps. I'd rather they do that than know all 100 techniques and one of those techniques is like Dojime, right?
What's
or
wrong with
like
Dojime? Why are you picking on
Dojime
Dojime for?
or like Ryote Jime or like I'm thinking like some of the more obscure makikomis, like
Mm-hmm.
or the gaishis, like Kosoto gai, Koichi gaishi, Uchimata gaishi. Like I rather they just admit they don't know it that well than to just do something what that looks like that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, it's a whole argument that we always play around because it's a joke. It's one of our
yeah,
joking ones. It's
because what's gonna
Yamadashi. You know, it's like
yeah yeah
no
yeah
one knows true
exactly
Yamadashi, but we always joke around like this is what it's
yeah
supposed to look like.
yeah because what's gonna happen if you make that a requirement for the test is someone's gonna pull out the Kodokan book, look at it, these still images,
Uh-huh.
and then like maybe look up someone else's interpretation of it on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
and then just like copy what they think it is and then they're going to pass the test and then now they know quote unquote know the technique. So
Yeah.
I'd much rather they just like focus on the core techniques and then maybe for the higher belt ranks like sixth dan, fifth dan, seventh dan, then have those be taught and not just someone studied it out of a book with no context to any sort of competition live setting or anything.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, because I
It's like we
was
said.
watching.
It's like we said with Ippon Sonagi. Yes, in Kataguruma. I mean, in Kataguruma. in kata, it is done this way, but then you really do in real life, it's done another way. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching someone study for their test. I'm not going to say which video because a lot of people liked it, so I don't want to get shit for it. But I'm sure the guy's a great instructor otherwise. But he was like studying for the test, and then he said, "Oh, this book now says uchi makikomi, right?" And he's like, "If I
Mhm.
remember correctly, it's you come in for." I come in for Ushimata and I grab you here and then I just fall. I'm like, what the? That's not Uchi. It's completely wrong. So, but that's how people learn from a book with no instructions or anything. But anyway, yeah, don't don't want to get too deep into that. But yeah.
Yeah. My last one, and this is probably my last one, is stuff with the big myth, this martial art myth itself.
Hmm.
That just because we know how to break people, we know how to fix people. We are not all doctors. We are not all
Yeah.
Western medicine, give you some ginseng doctors. Just because we're martial artists
Yeah.
does not mean, or black belt stuff does not mean that we're doctors as well. And I think that more has to go with Chinese things where it's popular for a Chinese doctor or a medicine person to also be like a kung fu master. I think it was just for movies also. But there's a
Hmm.
whole thing where like when people, this is a long time ago also, when they're like, oh, Juan, you're a black belt? Well, I have this thing with my arm here. They got, do you know what? So I was like, all I know is from my own personal experience what's happened to me. And it's kind of funny because I will relocate
Yeah.
people's fingers and toes sometimes. But again, because that's what's happened to me, I know how to do it. But I also tell people, go see a doctor. Go make sure this is back in place. It's not broken. Go do that, you know? So what do you think about that one?
Uh. Yeah.
Speaking
I
of
feel like
someone
no.
that loves Eastern medicine.
Well, I object. I look at evidence, right? So and not just scientific evidence, but like certain things. But I think that's not as big of a problem as judo, but it's mostly a BJJ thing. I feel like I don't know if it's a
Oh,
thing in
BJJ got
karate
into
and
that because to me it was a big kung fu and karate, well, kind of karate thing, but a big kung fu thing back when I was a kid.
well in kung fu I can see it too because traditionally I mean there's a lot in China like there's a lot of peasants, right?
Hmm.
And people who have the time and money to train kung fu become masters also tend to be doctors
Hmm.
because they had to learn how to fix one they had to learn how to fix each other up and that's how they learn to become doctors over time training and two that's one way of funding the not the dojo but like the school is to you become a doctor basically
Hmm.
so it's not uncommon for martial arts masters to be doctors, well, quote, Eastern doctors also. Um, but and that comes with like education, right? You tend to be more educated, so people tend to go to these people for answers, like these peasants that have never went
Yeah.
to school before. So I think that's where the culture comes from.
Well,
Um,
I get the whole thing of like, well, I've had this injury. This is what works for me, or I know if this happens, you should do this to somebody. I get
mhm,
that. But the whole thing of like people think like, oh, you're a black belt, then you should know like medicine, or just that you're a black belt, period. And it's even different
mhm.
cultures. Like black belts are more Japanese and Korean, but they'll think, oh, do you know thing about like ginseng or green tea, or should I
Yeah,
be taking this
God,
herb?
yeah,
Should I do
acupuncture,
this?
yeah.
Yeah, acupressure type of stuff. And it's like, that's Chinese. Like I don't do Chinese martial arts,
Well,
you know?
there is, remember in Japan, there is like a judo therapist. It's a title,
Yeah.
right? Because there, if you look at the Kodokan old books, there are like certain sections on like revival techniques and all these other stuff, right? So I think there's like that's might be where the history of it comes from, but
Hmm.
otherwise, I haven't encountered that. No one really asked me stuff that I don't know. Um, or no one's ever asked me that kind of stuff. Only a couple of people have. Like, I'm just like, just go to the doctor. Like, like
Well, if
I
you grew
don't.
your mustache out and your beard a little bit, they might ask you.
Yeah, like no one's asked me for financial advice.
Finance?
No
Why would
one's.
they ask us about financial? We're like the worst. Not saying we're the worst people, but
I
like,
hear this in BJJ locker rooms a lot.
really?
Yeah,
I
people are
think
like, what
asking
stocks I invest
a
in, what I should do with
coach, because it's like
cryptocurrency.
it's
Like,
statistically known that martial art instructors don't make a whole lot of money. So why do you ask the person that's just doing something they love for the love of the game how
it's
to make
blind
money?
leading the blind. But anyway, I'm just saying I personally haven't really experienced that. I see it in other martial arts,
Hmm.
but I haven't experienced that in judo. But I also in my class, I tell people all the time, don't take my word for it, whatever I say. Like, go test it out. Like, I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, please let me know. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, and sometimes I'm like, I don't have the answer, but I think this is the answer. But so why don't we test it out right now in class? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so, because me telling you something is just one thing, but then like you experiencing it and seeing it for yourself is a different thing. But yeah, so that's all you have.
Yeah, I think that's for the most
Wow,
part just what I have. I know you're gonna have more and stuff, so
I'll try to speed through it because yeah, this is
you got like
okay.
20 questions right now.
Okay, so I'll
All right,
start.
let's go.
A lot of my stuff has to do with like rule sets, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to turn it into like a BJJ versus judo thing. But also, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these myths come from, and at least in America, it comes from BJJ, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so for one, BJJ is more popular than judo, right? This is probably true in America, and I'm going to say some English-speaking countries or some big
Yeah.
cities, but
Not
overall,
worldwide.
worldwide is completely not true.
Yeah.
Um, I'll make this more specific. Like even in Brazil, I don't think it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've seen people on Reddit talk about like, oh, I see BJJ signs stores all along town when I walk in, when I went to Brazil, and it's like, yeah, because most judo clubs don't have, it's government funded, it's in some
Mm-hmm.
community center, it's probably 5 times the size of that BJJ club you saw on the
We
street.
we talked about that years ago, how people don't realize how judo in other countries being taught in a community center or a
Yeah,
police academy or just a place like that is okay. It's just this
yeah.
American thing where like, oh, I'm taking judo at a rec center. Oh, that must be like really poor
and
judo then.
and you're seeing this in I saw a comment recently on Reddit about Korea, but I can't talk about Korea because I don't know the enough about it. But
Mm-hmm.
in Japan, they're saying, oh, BJJ is everywhere in Japan, but I can't find judo, and that's true for me too. I saw a bunch of BJJ clubs. I didn't see any judo clubs because most of them are in
Mm-hmm.
schools, police
Yes.
stations, um, and they're just not advertised. They're like even the one we went to, Chiyoda Sports Club, we had to get an invite to to get in there. We can't just like walk in.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean that BJJ is more popular than judo. There's definitely more judo practitioners than BJJ. So that's a myth. With some context with clarifications, right? Uh, just being on top of this is the rule set. Just being on top isn't osaikomi. I had a discussion with this some before because someone was just like, "I'm on top. Why did the ref not call osaikomi?" I'm like, "Yeah, because your torso is not on top of him."
Mm-hmm.
So one example I gave was top mount, high mount, high mount. If you do the traditional like BJJ high mount, how they transition into an armbar,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's not osaikomi because what happens is when you bend over. Well, first of all, just sitting on them is not osaikomi. And then when you bend over, your belly's going to go over their face. You're not covering their torso. So that's not osaikomi by the rules. Um, and also you have to demonstrate control, right?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
part of, if you do the katame no kata, that is part of the point. It's like there's a point of control. And then talk about this in the IJF referee seminars, is that you have to have this point of control, and that's where you call osaikomi. Because in competitions, you see coaches saying, osaikomi, osaikomi. Why is he calling osaikomi? It's like he hasn't demonstrated control.
The funniest
Like,
one is when they'll yell out when the leg's still wrapped up or something. Like your legs straight, you
yeah,
don't have 100% control. Like that's what I always tell people. Like you have to have established 100% control. They can't have your foot. You can't be locked in them. You can't be half under them. You have to show 100% control on the person.
yeah. And the reverse works too, because sometimes you'll see people's back briefly leave the floor.
Mm,
And they're like, why didn't they call Toketa? It's like, well, he didn't regain control and he got put
mm,
back on his back. Like, it's not wrestling. It's not like, oh, my back's off the floor. Okay, Toketa. Like,
yeah.
it's not like that. So, control is just being on top is not enough. Basically, is what I'm saying. Um, you only have X amount of seconds to do Newaza before you standing up. That's something I still hear now.
Yeah.
As long as obviously it depends on the ref, right? If the ref absolutely is clueless about progress in the ground, then it's not good. But it's been better lately.
They've been trying
Th-
to. You have to show you're controlling it. You're doing something, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, so if you have X amount of seconds, the net wasn't being stood up. It's not true. As long as you keep going. I think there was a particular clip recently I saw somewhere. I can't remember, but it was like Dr. Senai would know, Aaron would know. They were
Mhm.
doing Newaza straight for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a women's match.
Hmm.
So as long as it's progress, then this is the IJF one. I'm not talking about your local clueless ref that lets you sit there and guard for 2 minutes. Um, so there was a match that allowed things to go for 2 minutes. So that's another myth. I had a disagreement with this with a ref, and the upcoming one.
Hmm.
Guillotines, darts, and anaconda chokes are illegal. That's again not true. It's guillotines is only illegal if you do the arm out guillotine, where you're just
Yeah.
basically wrapping your arm around the neck.
Yeah.
Any sort of leg or arm wrapped around the neck without an arm in between, like a head and arm, is illegal. It's gonna be mate right away.
Yeah.
Um, you can do these chokes as long as you do not use your legs to block the body from rotating.
It's
And all,
also
yeah,
you can't extend the body. Like you can't just pull like they do in like MMA where they get the guillotine. They just like the legs pull one direction down and your body's pull one
yeah,
direction
that's
up.
blocking. That's blocking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So how the this is why people get the misconception that guillotines is not allowed is because you need to use your legs in a guard position or whatever to put it over to the back to stop uke from rotating so that you can finish the choke. But you also can't neck crank. So you got to do the guillotine in a way where you don't like sit back to crank the neck downwards.
Hmm.
So it's not that it's illegal, it's just really hard to do. And if
Hmm.
you don't do both of those, what usually happens is uke will jump over to avoid being choked by the guillotine. They'll roll
Hmm.
over and then they transition to osaikomi, a pin
Yeah.
instead. So that's why you don't see them happening really. So that's a but that doesn't mean it's illegal. I was having a disagreement with the ref on this. With that said, Kevin got choked this way illegally.
Hmm.
Um, luckily, it didn't really make a difference in the match. He lost anyway in the end, but in a different way. But I was like, hey, that guy technically did a legal technique, you know? So, but they're like, wait, really? That's illegal? Like this is at a tournament. I'm like, yeah. And then they had to pull the head referee over and
Hmm.
confirm with the head referee that it was an illegal technique. So um, that's kind of what happened.
It was the same with I had someone actually ask me the other day about the bulldog choke, and I was
Mhm.
like, yes, a bulldog choke, either direction, whether they're on their back or if they're on their belly or something. If there's no arm in there, it is illegal. Because the way they're explaining it to me, I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, show me what you're doing. It's like, oh, a bulldog choke or a bully choke, what do you want to call it? Yes, that is illegal in judo right now.
Yep. Okay. Uh, holding the belt is holding the belt or anything that is not allowed in judo is good for you in BJJ. I actually watched a couple of videos. One of them I'll call out exactly what it is BJJ Globetrotters, and
Uh-huh.
they have like this like bad video called "Bad for Judo but Good for BJJ."
Hmm.
Um, and there is like the whole video was just like basically saying things that are not true. Because he's saying the premise of the video was basically, oh, anything that they don't allow in judo is good for you in BJJ, and they don't allow it because it's good. It's what they're saying. So
That's always their excuse. It's always that, well, judo took this out because it's just too effective. They were
yeah,
losing too much to it. So
yeah.
judo took that out. Like, yeah, it's the same argument with leg grab people. Same thing.
So one of the things they're saying is the holding the belt is not allowed in judo, which is not true. You're allowed to
Hmm.
use it, just not to defend as defense, just stall, basically
Hmm.
defensively stall. Um, so if you don't want to get thrown, just hold the belt. Like, no, that's
Really? So I can pull you
yeah.
in easier for me? Great. Yeah. Hold my
There
belt.
are they're just seeing it as like holding the belt is like, oh, if you hold the belt, then you can throw anyone, kind of thing. When
Uh,
that's not true. It's just use it to stop stalling if you hold it for too long.
hmm.
There are some other examples I can't remember, like double grip breaks, same-sided grip was another one, like
Hmm.
cross collar grip. Yeah, there. It's just like, yeah, that just it's not that it's not bad or it's not effective. It's just that statement is not true. Like if it's not allowed in judo, then it's good for BJJ. That's just like not completely not true. Um, So touching the leg in any way is illegal. We talked about this before. As long as you hold a primary grip. So if we're doing kochi makikomi, if as long as I'm holding a legal grip with my hands, then my elbow or shoulder can touch your legs and it's fine. But if I let go of that legal grip with my hand, then my elbow or whatever becomes a primary grip, then you can't touch your legs. So yeah, Shido for that. Yeah, this one, how do I word this next one? Judokas don't know how to choke or armbar people because they see the opportunities to do it and they don't do it. And
Yeah.
I had to tell this to people in my beginners class who come from BJJ all the time, and we had a problem with a certain jujitsu guy in the past, where he would teach people like how to do, let's say, like baseball bat choke and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, you wouldn't do that in a judo match because you would lose your top position. And what happens if the guy tucks his chin and the lapel or your hand goes over the face? The ref, it's right
So
there
it's
for the ref to see it. It's going to be mate. So it's not that we don't do it. It's just the pin is higher percentage and there's less risk of us losing the position due to
It's
the
just
rules.
it's the whole thing of when I talk to people about like when I tell people like when to do nawads and when not to do nawads, about fighting smarter, not harder. Okay.
Yeah.
It's much easier to control. Like, it sounds weird when I tell people, but when you're doing judo for a while, you can feel it. It's much easier to hold someone down for 10 to 20 seconds than it is to fight for 10 to 20 seconds trying to get an arm bar and lose.
Yep.
If I hold you down for 10 to 20 seconds, at least I got a wazadi. At least I'm on the board with a Yukon wazadi. Where if I'm fighting for a choke or armor, especially if I'm not in top position on you, I'm on your back or something, you're bellied out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wasting. Yes, we can do like you do that kind of stuff. We do this open rondori, but in tournaments, you got to fight smarter. That's why you don't see that many arm bars or chokes in competition.
Yeah. So this is like an opinion now, is not a myth or not. Do you think it's harder to submit someone or is it harder to pin someone for 20 seconds?
If someone's fighting, I think it's much harder to submit someone.
Okay.
But it's also it's like for me, like remember, I grew up doing freestyle folk style wrestling. So turning somebody over and controlling them for 20 seconds isn't as hard as it is for me to try to dig for an arm or I can get chokes actually pretty easy from people from the back, but because I have sneaky techniques.
I was gonna say, if it's in a judo rule set, I think submitting is harder because there's so much. Unlike stand up, there's nothing stopping you from stalling.
Yeah.
But if it's like a more open rule set like BJJ, I actually think pinning someone's harder.
Well, they won't accept it. That's why. No matter if I'm pinning somebody, I'm holding them there for a long as time.
Assuming they don't want to be on their back, because some people just stay on their back and let you do whatever, right?
Yeah.
But assuming they're trying to not be on their back, I actually think pinning someone's harder than submitting. That's personally my experience.
Yeah.
I don't have. I'm not claiming it's true or anything. Could just be my own badness at pinning someone. Let's see. Okay. Leg grabs. Yeah. We talked about this before. They banned leg grabs because wrestlers were dominating.
Yeah.
judokas,
like I said before. Yeah.
Okay. So let's break this down, right? First of all, go listen to the leg grab episode if you want to know why they actually banned leg grabs. It's not because of this. I'm not going to go into it because we have a long list. But this is easily disproven because what the last Olympic that allowed leg grabs to happen was Beijing 2008, and the 2012 London Olympics was when they allowed leg grabs as a counter or combination, if I remember, something like that. But not as a direct attack.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't just shoot for a double, basically, or a single. And 2016 Rio was the first Olympic where they did not allow leg grabs, right? So based off of those dates, I use ChatGPT here, but because I was in a rush to bring it up, but I've looked at the stats before manually, not by using AI. Based off of that, because what they said was the Japanese influenced the IJF because they were getting dominated, so they banned because wrestlers, whatever, right? If you look it up, it just doesn't add up. 2016 Rio was when the leg grabs were banned, and they performed it worse.
Yeah, they had their worst
They
performance.
had
That
the
coach
worst
got fired
performance
after
ever.
that. Yeah, I
Their
remember that
coach
one.
got
Yeah,
fired and got replaced by Inoue, right?
yeah.
And then now they're another golden age, like Godzilla age is what they call it. Um, but before that, when leg grabs were still allowed, the Japanese were still dominating the medal counts. Like I'm looking at 2004 Athens, Japan had 10 total, the most gold medals in judo,
Hmm.
followed by China, then South Korea, Georgia. Let's see what 2008 Beijing, Japan. Remember last year that leg grabs were allowed. Japan
Hmm.
number one again in medal count, 7 total medals, 4 of them gold, 1 silver, 2 bronze. Second again, China, four medals, 3 gold, 0 silver, 1 bronze. So all these other countries you're talking about that's dominating, like Georgia, I assume, who's one of them, has only 1 medal, 1 gold. Mongolia, 1 gold. Um, what
Russia.
other wrestling countries? I don't know if Russia. Where's Russia? It's not even on here. But again, ChatGPT. But
Hmm.
um,
But yeah, you would expect that these
yeah,
more grappling, stand-up grappling or wrestling countries would do well. Like I said,
yeah,
Russia, Georgia, Mongolia, the US, even stuff like with
yeah,
countries that have really strong wrestling background and wrestling bases. They're like, oh, well,
yeah.
they should just dominate it. They're like, no, they're just creating ugly judo. And
Okay,
it was like,
so yeah, so they're stalling.
yeah,
Go back and listen
yeah.
to the episode about that. 2000. So let's talk. That was Olympics. So let's talk about World
Hmm.
Championships every year, right?
Yeah.
2005 Cairo, Japan number one medals 11, Netherlands second, right? 2007 Rio de Janeiro, Japan number one, Netherlands second. Um, 2009 Rotterdam, Brazil's number one, Japan's number two, China. It's like it doesn't add, the story doesn't add up to
Yeah.
this, right? I could see what I could see is that local recreational judo is getting dominated by someone who wrestled in high school or D1 college wrestling.
Hmm.
Like someone like me getting dominated by a wrestler, but I doubt someone like me at the local level has any pull on the IJF banning leg grabs.
What? You don't think they listen to us? We don't got any pull at all?
Yeah, and also it's not surprising that someone, because judo in some of these countries are not recreational. Not judo, sorry, not judo. Wrestling in many of these countries, including US, is not recreational. It's all you compete all year round or all school year round. And then you throw them in a tournament with some dad who just did judo 2 times a week on his free time. Like, obviously they're gonna dominate it. I don't think that dad's gonna go around. Well, they just need to ban leg grabs. Like, I don't think that's
I'm gonna contact the IGF right now. I'm gonna write
my uncle works
strongly
for
worded
IJF.
email. I'm gonna write strongly worded email
Yeah.
to the IGF.
So it just doesn't add up, right? It's completely bullshit. Yeah, I don't know how that even came up, but
Because
uh
it's a vocal minority that
yeah,
just that their judo they couldn't do anymore. It and saying I go and I say it's like I don't care if you come to the dojo, I don't care. If you need leg grabs for your judo to be effective, then your judo sucks.
yeah.
All right.
And also beyond that, you can look at the top medalists, the top podiuming people in all of these tournaments. You're not going to find a single wrestler. So
Yeah.
yeah. So people who keep saying that, please stop saying that. It's just
They're never
really
gonna
freaking
stop.
annoying. Um, Next one. All right. Kazushi Sukuri Kake. I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this.
This is your own thing now. This is your hill to die
I'm
on.
not. It's written in books. So traditionally, but most judo clubs teach it in that phase, right? When they
Hmm.
demonstrate judo, it's Kazushi first, then Sukuri, then Kake, right? So break the balance, fit in, set it up, and then throw, executing the throw. That work it that works in a static demonstrating sense, but in reality, all of those three can happen at the same time,
Hmm.
um, and in different orders. And in fact, if you don't believe me, then the for those who don't know, the current version of the Kodokan Judo textbook is like the second or third edition. If you go back to look at the first edition, they actually put Kazushi and Sukuri together as one thing. And if you even look back at some of the older textbooks, they even say this too. And in reality, I don't know why they separated it. There was a discussion on it. I forgot why. Um, but in reality, most textbooks, old school textbooks, will actually refer it to as one and
Hmm.
also talk about how they usually occur together. Um, I also think IJF Academy recently published a study stating something similar. I've been reading so much research paper because of freaking Dr. Sanage lately, his his influence, that
Got you
I'm
into it.
losing track of. Yeah, I'm losing track of what I'm reading. But yeah, but if you keep, and I wanted to, I know I was gonna get a lot of shit for this, and I wanted to bring it up because I think thinking of it in 1, 2, 3 step like that
Mm-hmm.
is what's holding a lot of beginners back, because they always feel like I need to pull them up first and then get in and then throw. Like you, that's just gonna hold back your judo if you think of it in steps like that. So you can disagree or agree or whatever. The main takeaway is don't think of it that way. I don't think it'll help your judo if you
Mm-hmm.
do that. This one I also get a lot of shit. Kuzure does not mean variation. The literal translation is broken, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the same root word as kuzushi, off balance. So if anything, call it off balance kisakatame, right? But it's been seen as mistranslated as variation. I can see why, because it's like it kind of looks like a variation of kisakatame, kind of looks like a variation
Mm-hmm.
of kamishokatame. So but the root word of kuzure has the same root word as kuzushi, is the kuzu part, right? So it actually means broken, and it's to, in as far as I understand, it's back then, because it's probably not no longer true anymore. It's to tell you basically this is a less strong version of the other
Mm-hmm.
one, basically. Um, that's what it means. Tomoe in the same line of things. Tomoe nage doesn't mean circle throw. Doesn't mean stomach throw. Tomoe is that
What?
symbol.
It doesn't mean monkey flip.
Tomoe is that symbol that looks like a comma,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you watch Naruto, like they in like the anime, in the Uchiha clan, the eyes, they have the Tomoe. They call it the Tomoe symbol, that comma
Mm-hmm.
thing. So it's like a wheel. So if you have two of them, it kind of like the yin and yang thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it
yeah.
forms a wheel. So I think it's named after how Uke and Tori looks like when you do the Tomoe Nage. It's like it's forming that
You know
comma
what?
wheel.
Naruto ruined me going getting cakes because I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna get a Naruto cake. Oh, are you gonna get the blah blah blah? I'm like, no, I'm just getting a round cake. What the hell are you talking about?
All right, let me knock this one out. Kano asked to be buried as a white belt because he wanted to be seen as a beginner
What the
in life and death. Yeah,
Where
this
did you
is.
read that at?
Oh, it's
What?
on the internet everywhere. You'll see
Really?
it
I've
if
never heard
you'll
that
see it
one.
on
That's some
Facebook.
conspiracy
You'll see it
bullshit.
in some of these coaching Facebook groups. You see it on Instagram.
Uh-huh.
Maybe he said it, but there's no historical fact or documentation backing this up.
Well, I think
So
it goes to the thing where he was a double white belt, and people don't understand that. People don't
double
understand
white
what it.
belt.
Yeah, it was a thing where so they didn't want to make him a red belt. They wanted to make him something separate. So they made him like a
No,
double white belt. There's
I don't
something
know
like
about
that.
that. I don't know about that.
I remember reading that one, and I was like,
I know. So
is it like double thick? Is it like
this
kimono thick obi white belt he has on or
this is
something?
why you don't read and trust everything you see on the internet. But basically, it might have happened, but there's no evidence supporting it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hey, I had
Um,
when Sensei Emmy passed away, like before we had the dojo stuff. When Sensei Emmy passed away, they buried him in a white kimono. One of our
well,
members
that's
at
that's how you get what you get
no,
buried in.
exactly. You understand that. But one of our members at the time, when we were doing a little walk by, bow
Oh
to him
no!
and
Oh
stuff,
no!
goes like, Juan, look, they buried him in his judo gi. That is so cool. Oh my God, he's being buried in his gi. That is so badass. I was like, you freaking idiot.
All right. Here is another one. Kosen Judo is a style of judo, and that's what Maeda trained in, and he taught the Gracies Kosen Judo. That's
Mhm.
that's something I've actually heard quite often
Oh no, I
too.
could, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've heard that, but I can totally believe someone saying that.
yeah. So Kosen Judo, first of all, is a rule set, is not a style, which is why
Mhm.
whatever USJA is doing is not Kosen Judo.
Kosen judo.
Um, Maeda left Japan years before Kosen Judo was a thing, because it's trained in it's a university tournament rule set, right?
Mhm.
So he left Japan way before that was a thing. So there's no way he like taught that as a style, which leads to the other thing is Maeda taught the Gracies.
Mm-hmm.
No, based off of most accounts, there's a book by Roberto Pedrera. This is how it's pronounced his name. It's called, I think it's called pronounced choked or chalk, Choque. So he writes a lot of books and biographies on the Gracies and all that kind of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
he basically said it never happened, at least not directly. So it could have been one of his students. You know, that's common in BJJ nowadays. Like one of our students one of not my students, one of our guys from our dojo trains at a really famous jujitsu place,
Mm-hmm.
but the guy who's famous never ever freaking teaches his class anyway.
Yeah, it's just
It's
the name
usually
of the
someone else.
academy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So maybe that happened, but he never actually learned directly from Maeda, is what this guy wrote. And there's a lot of other accounts of the biographies about how the Gracies never directly learned from Maeda.
We're
Uh,
gonna get some heat for that one. We're gonna get
yeah.
a angry, strongly worded letter to us.
This is the last one I have. So,
Mhm.
Kano Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh yeah, we both do.
Yeah.
We both debate on this one because I get where it comes from. You're like total BS bullshit. I'm not believing it. To me, it's like I understand. I get where this comes from,
It's
people.
one
But
of
go
the
ahead.
so basically it was Kano and Dakota Khan has never ever called judo Kano Jiu-Jitsu.
Hmm.
Right? Because I understand what you mean. You're saying, hey,
Yeah.
people in Brazil could have like misinterpreted it and just started calling it that and it turned into a thing. Like, yeah, but there are people who actually claim Kano used to call it Kano Jiu-Jitsu and then changed the name to Kodokan Judo, which it
This
was
is
never happened.
yeah. This is my theory, and it's just judo
Okay.
guy read a lot of books. This is just my theory. When Kano was creating judo, I don't know if if he immediately came with the name of I'm going to call my style judo. And my thing is that it's either happened that when he was developing it, maybe people were calling it, oh, that Kano guy's jujitsu style. So Kano jujitsu is when they first named it. You know, that Kano guy, his jujitsu style, that guy Kano jujitsu. But then when he became popular, it's like, no, my style's called judo. I'm naming it judo. Just like Bruce Lee's like, oh, judo, Bruce Lee's done, he's doing Wing Chun. No, Bruce Lee's doing Jeet Kune Do. He's created Jeet Kune Do. He's no longer just doing
But
Wing Chun.
that's kind of like how if we call BJJ basically just judo, it doesn't make it true.
Well, it's like BJJ. Well, it's there's between BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and whatever other styles they call
Anyway, there's so
themselves.
many variations of the story, and
Yeah,
it's all of it comes down to this myth. Like
yeah,
some of the variations is like, oh, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is not called Brazilian Judo because it was originally called Kano Jiu-Jitsu, and then it turned
yeah,
into Brazilian. Like, no, it was never called that. And
yeah.
the root of this name comes from this book called The Complete Kano Jiu-Jitsu by a guy called Katsukuma Higashi,
Hmm.
and I think it's translated by a guy called Hancock. And Kano actually in the let's see, in the book The Complete Kano Jiu-Jitsu, no, not that one, sorry. In the book The Way of Judo by John Stevens, he wrote not autobiography. He wrote a biography on Kano and his students. Basically, he
Hmm.
says Kano stated to say, the book Kano, Complete Kano Jiu-Jitsu, I should say this book teaches nothing of my judo. This book explains in a way the teachings of one of the schools of jiu-jitsu taught in feudal times in Japan, which is now obliterated in Japan. So he's basically saying none of this happened.
Yeah.
There was also a story about how I think this Hancock was from Germany, so this book was circulating around
Hmm.
Germany, and they a lot of people were actually like learning from this book, and some
Hmm.
people were teaching this certified
Well,
from this book.
that kind of
And
reminds me of the story of do you know why in Sherlock Holmes he's supposed to be doing like a boken jitsu,
mhm,
but during mistranslation that's why it's called bojitsu
yeah. Oh,
instead.
I think Bojutsu is a thing though. Maybe it
I
is
think
not.
it
I
may
don't
be
know.
now, but I think in the original thing, the translation or the guy got the translation wrong
Yeah,
because he wanted him to do like this Japanese jujitsu style, so he named it the wrong thing.
yeah.
So that's why I think it's still going whatever in the book. But yeah,
So I forgot where I read the story from, but it
uh-huh.
was in a book, one of the books. But he basically said Kano went to Germany and then said, "Oh, yeah, I have nothing to do with this book. In fact, this book is not judo at all." And then some
Uh-huh.
of these instructors start breaking down, saying like basically realizing they
They've
learn
been duped.
much dojo.
As
So
you love to say, they've been bamboozled.
bamboozled, yeah. So yeah, Kano Jiu-Jitsu never was a thing.
Yeah. No, I can, like I said, I get where it can come from. And I think it's more like a secondhand of like people being like, oh, that Kano Jiu-Jitsu style, not for knowing
yeah, but
or
why would they call
understanding.
it Kano Jiu-Jitsu when he established the name as Nihon Den Konokan Judo? Like,
I think it might
I
have
don't
been
know.
before that or something. Like, people are stupid, I think just people are stupid and not understand what judo or that his style is called judo. Just be like, that Kano guy's jujitsu style, that Kano jujitsu. I think
I mean, I'm
that's
not
my
saying you're
thing.
wrong because we
Yeah.
can't prove it, right?
Yeah. We're gonna get a time
Yeah.
machine. We're gonna go back to
Hey, do
1892,
you know Kano
1882.
Jiu-Jitsu? And
Yeah.
you mean judo? Like,
Yeah. Oh shit! God damn it! They knew it. All right. So was
maybe in
that
a
all your?
parallel universe. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that all your myths and stuff? All your
Uh,
little?
yeah, I think
I have.
there's some other ones, but I think all the other ones are either not as interesting
I
or
have.
people would I can't like back it up with hard sources. So
I have
yeah.
one last one. I forgot to
Yeah.
mention this because one of my first on my list, but I forgot to write it down.
Yeah.
The biggest myth that I think right now with judo is that, and this is stupid, is that judo doesn't work in MMA. Judo doesn't work in MMA and judo doesn't work in real fighting. Even
we
though
talked about that before.
I know, but
Yeah.
we definitely talked about it before, but I hate the myth that people was like, well, judo doesn't work in MMA, even though you see people get tossed all the time. You see all these judo techniques. There's
But
multiple judo
that's wrestling.
champions. Oh yeah, that's always excuse. Oh, that's wrestling. Like that. Oh,
No,
that's sambo. Oh, that's BJJ. It's all judo to me.
you just reminded me of one more, like Greco-Roman. No gi judo is just
Oh, we forgot about
Greco-Roman
that
wrestling.
one. We
Yeah.
talked about that one. Yeah,
We did
that
talk
one.
about that. Yeah, it's not true because
It's
there's
so not true.
most of the leg
Greco-Roman
sweeps. Is not allowed.
Greco-Roman's just no gi judo. Like, no, it is totally different move set, totally different rule set. We Ashiwaza the shit out of each other all the time. In Greco, I cannot use my feet at all. It is all upper body throws. Now they do some similar throws that we do, but they are nothing like us. And I blame for that one. Again, going to Joe Rogan.
Mhm.
Eddie Bravo. I think Eddie Bravo is the one that started saying that a
Good.
lot. So people start just believing that, oh, Eddie Bravo said that. Because I think he was comparing that.
Eddie Bravo also said the earth is flat. So.
Yeah. And I got some people that believe that too. Because I think he said one time is like when he was trying to compare why people don't like, people told him you have to train gi jujitsu before you can do no gi. You can't just go straight into no gi jujitsu. And he's like, that'd be stupid. It's like telling a Greco guy that he can't do Greco. He has to get a black belt he has to get a black belt in judo first before he go do Greco. And it's like they could complement each other, yes, but there are totally different move sets and stuff. So
yeah,
those are just some interesting myths that we're talking about.
It's just interesting how people will make these claims without actually just go look up the rules for Greco and look up the rules for judo and look, or even just look at two Olympic level matches and see what happens. Like,
yeah, see the difference.
Yeah, why aren't they tripping the leg? Like, why don't you like notice stuff like that?
Why is not doing Sasai or Diashi's right there? So
okay.
So that was a little interesting conversation we had today. Did you get all the myths out that you wanted to get out, Anthony? Oh, you did say you have a few left, didn't you?
I have a few left. I'm not going to touch it because it's gonna delve into the realm of Uchimata versus Hanegoshi kind of.
Oh, we're not getting into that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's the whole argument. Like we both watch stuff and Neil Adams says one thing and we think something else, or we watch a UFC fight and they're saying wizard kick, and it's like no, down Hanegoshi, inside wizard kick, Uchimata, you idiot. All right. So please, everybody, remember to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me, _1 on Instagram. You follow Anthony and Anthony Todos on Instagram. You can follow Tatami Talk itself on Instagram at Tatami Talk. Please subscribe to the Substack. We might be moving to OnlyFans soon. Might get some feed pics. All right. If you guys have any questions, things you want us to go over, things you want us to talk about, or just compliment us, or just tell us how beautiful and great we are as judo players, you can hit us up at tatamitalk@gmail.com. We're on the threads. We're not on anything else. We're just on the Instagram and threads. That's pretty much it. Yes, that's it. Anthony, is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to?
No, I'm sure I'm going to remember something later, but we can save it for next episode.
All right.
Yep.
Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to
don't spread these judo myths and slap the mat. Yeah.
Kano Jiu-Jitsu.